Okay, the next question is, aren't we the Israel of God? And that one kind of goes along with, aren't we grafted into Israel? Because the same people who say, well, we're grafted into Israel, will say we're the Israel of God. This is a misinterpretation of a passage in Galatians 6. For in Christ Jesus, neither circumcision or uncircumcision avails, but a new creature. As many as walk according to this rule, peace upon them and mercy upon the Israel of God, and upon the Israel of God, and upon the Israel of God. Paul uses Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob to describe the place of Christ in the Christian life. In Galatians 3, he argues that we are heirs together with Abraham because we are in his seed, which is Christ, who is the heir of the promise. In Galatians 4, he argues that those who are heirs by faith, as those who are heirs by faith, we are like Isaac. And those who insist on law keeping for either justification or sanctification are like Ishmael and will persecute the children of promise. Finally, in Galatians 5 and 6, he argues that sowing to the religious flesh will bring all kinds of strife and other works of the flesh, and that we need to walk according to the Spirit. In this context, he's referring to Jacob, who is Israel. In Genesis, Jacob wrestled with God and prevailed, demanding a blessing that was already promised to him. God weakened his thigh so that he would walk with a limp for the rest of his life and named him Israel. In type, Jacob was strong in the flesh, but Israel was weak, needing to depend on God. This is a picture of our life of walking in the Spirit, not according to the strength of the flesh, but in weakness, depending on the Spirit to produce his fruit. This verse cannot be used to say that we are spiritual Israel, since it would contradict Romans 11, but that Jacob's transformation through weakness is a picture of the true circumcision who have no confidence in the flesh, in contrast to the evil workers that want to make a show in their flesh and are enemies of the cross.